Okay, where is Venerable Urbana?
Hello.
Hi. Do you want to just tell us, especially if there's somebody here who hasn't been here before, like Cutie, maybe want to know about you, what book we're doing with you? Cutie, I love you.
It doesn't look much different from last time, I gotta say. Let's see.
No, but if somebody came up to you and said, what book are you working on?
Yeah, why don't I just give a narrative? So this is a book about emptiness. And what is emptiness? But it is the lack of a self nature, that a thing is not itself, whether it's a thing or a person, that no thing is itself. And so the Buddha had a lot of teachings about emptiness. And he said that that is the thing you need to see in order to get out of the cycle of suffering. And he had so many different teachings and he had so many different audiences that he spoke different things to different people, depending on where they were in their own way of thinking. And so KJ, the author of this book, said that we really need to know which version is the one that we should meditate on. And so he basically is breaking the book down into two, where he's going to talk about what the lack of a self nature means, according to Arya Sangha and Master Vasubandhu, who were the creators, if you will, of the mind-only school of philosophy. And then the latter part of the book, the largest part of the book, which we won't even get to for another year, maybe, is according to Arya Nagarjuna, who we just heard from in the previous class. And he is of the consequence branch of the Middle Way School of Philosophy. Okay, so we are in the midst of mind-only school land. And we've been there for quite a while, and we have actually been in the discussion of the emptiness of things for quite a while. And KJ at this point, meaning about a term and a half ago, he said, my holy teacher described the emptiness of things according to the mind-only school in a way that really is unsurpassed by anybody else. He really understands what they mean by the emptiness of things. What we typically hear as at the emptiness of things according to mind only is that that there are no external objects, that everything that appears to you is your foundation consciousness, your kunshi. That's what you are perceiving. And KJ is talking about, it's much more subtle than that. That's true. That's true. No external object. And the very essence of the thing you're looking at and the characteristics, the features of that thing, like if you wanted to say pen, and I don't know, when the pen started, when the pen keeps on going, and then when the pen breaks or runs out of ink, those would be its features. Those things are actually what you label onto that thing. So they're coming from you. So we're in this discussion of that. And last term, K.J. quoted Arya Sangha, who actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, Arya Sangha, who said that, in fact, you wouldn't even think of this as a pen unless you first called it a pen. It has a name before you think of it as that. And we're like, whoa, how is that possible? And so we're in the midst of that discussion, and we started talking about wrong ways of thinking, wrong ways of holding beliefs about things. We talked about how the foundation consciousness itself is lying to us. So it's the very thing that is causing samsara, is causing our suffering existence. And we actually finished right in the middle of a paragraph. Mm-hmm. So it will be interesting to see what's next.
All right. Thank you for a very nice introduction, and people really enjoyed it. Okay. I
figure if I smile, then people have fun.
I got lots of. By the way, you look healthy, and I'm glad you look good. Okay, here we go. By the way, so we were in Kyoto. Grandpa had his 70th birthday. We had a great dance party, and I want you to see the DJ right here.
Wow.
He's
Curious, the DJ.
He's at Tower Records checking out new music for his clients, And so Tower Records disappeared in the whole world except for in Kyoto currently. And he's checking vinyl records for his clients, okay? Just to show you how sophisticated he is. All right, term 19 starts here. Let me get you guys back. Yeah, progress report. We, as Venerable Utpala said, we're in the mind-only presentation of emptiness. We're kind of trying to stay patient so we can reach the higher middle way school. And I'm sad to say we will not reach it this term. So, I'm actually nervous to do her text because it's hard. And so just to let you know, there's no hope for this term. All right. Next term, we'll reach Nagarjuna and we'll understand what the heck's going on.
You think so? Yay.
Yeah. And I think you can finish classes for your first book this year by autumn, I would say. So that's your second book. If, in case you don't know, Utpala's book called Emptiness Meditations is the #1 bestseller from the best printing company in the world, the best press in the world, which is Diamond Cutter Press. And I don't know what's happening, Venerable Utpala, but your book is by far #1. And we're all getting rich. I think we made $300 in royalties each. And but just congratulations. I think your book has turned out to be really useful for people. Otherwise, they wouldn't buy it. So thank you.
Yeah, as I've told you, I think it's the best book you've ever written.
All right. Let's start here. Okay, good luck. You want to read, and then after a while, you can have someone else read. It's up to you. Okay.
Sure, I'll read one just for fun. Ngumpo Deni di ngumpo shepadang, ngumpo di suki ngowo shepadang, di ngumpo kewao she soki tani ki shiam ne su gyurpe ngumpo nangwe nangsu yudo.
Yeah. So in your text right now, we have an interesting topic. It's
Blue.
blue itself appearing to us, the color blue appearing to us, and we call ngowo, which means the basic nature, the basic object called blue, which is appearing to us. And then we call kepar. Kepar means, is it dark blue? Is it light blue? Did it just start? How long has it been here? Qualities of the blue, different aspects of the blue, characteristics of the blue. So we're talking about emptiness of being blue and the emptiness of being a certain kind of blue or a certain time of blue. And in the mind-only school, this is called examining the essence of blue and the characteristics of blue. The point is that neither the blueness nor the other qualities of blue, such as dark, light, something like that, starting, staying, stopping, those qualities are all not inherent in blue. Being blue is not inherent to blue, and being the starting of blue is not inherent to blue, and being the essence of blue is not inherent to being blue, okay? Those things don't belong in the blue. All right. Even according to the mind only. But what does that mean? Okay, so here we go. When you say ngombo deni di ngombo, when you look at blue and you say what? Di ngombo o.
This is blue, or that's
This is
blue.
blue. Okay, hey, that's blue. Or hey, ngombo is a kind of soup.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
blue is a kind of form.
Yeah, it's a kind of
Oh
physical.
no, that form is blue. The essence of that form is blue.
Well, you could say that, but this blue is made of, is a visual object. Okay, what is this blue? It's something I can see. Okay, and that's kind of talking about the essential nature of the blue. What's the essential nature of the blue? Oh, blue is something I can see. Okay, and then what about we talk about one of the many characteristics of the blue? In this case, let's talk about the kewa of the ngombo.
When the blue started.
Good. Okay. And the blue
Or the
is
starting of the blue.
Okay. Whether you say this is blue, or whether you say blue is something I can see, or whether you say the blue just started, what's the thing that you're talking about is ngumbor nangwe nangso, okay? This is all different ways in which blue appears to you, okay? Blue can appear to you as a basic thing. Blue can appear to you as something visual. You can think, oh, I'm looking at something. Or you can say, oh, look, something's starting now. And the yellow went away and the blue is starting, like that, okay? But anyway, a blue is appearing to you. And the way it appears to you is either as the essence of blue or as some feature of the blue. And that's a big deal in the mind-only school. Either it's appearing to you as blue, or it's appearing to you as, hey, this is something I can see. Or, hey, this is something that just started, okay? All of these are called, in mind-only school, ways that blue can show itself to you. Okay, all right. Keep going.
They par kan gi shena mikshe te la ngumpo su jitar nangwa dingi den pa peyul du jene de la shente di ngumpo she tane jepe topa mikshe de rang top ki dumpe cheer.
Yeah, and we had a big discussion in Adam's text this morning. And by the way, it seems to be Adam's text and Utpala's text are running in parallel sometimes.
I know.
Which is weird. But anyway, this is an old question. If you are looking at blue at the same time, do you recognize it as blue? When you are when you are focused on the starting of the blue, when do you think that? Okay, and he says, how do you know that blue has a nature of being blue, and how do you know that blue has a nature of being a visual object, or that blue has the quality of starting sometimes and stopping sometimes? How do you recognize blue as blue? And how do you recognize the different qualities of blue? Oh, this is something visual, or this is something that starts. Well, the way you perceive these aspects of blue is chemba, okay? Is
You
chemba.
remember.
Yeah,
You recall them.
yeah, in the moment, you are not aware of these things. You're just seeing blue, okay? You're not thinking, oh, hey, this was blue. You don't say to yourself the sentence, this was blue, in the first instant that you see the blue. You just see the blue. And you definitely don't think to yourself, oh, I'm seeing blue. And you definitely don't think to yourself, oh, the blue has started, okay? That comes chemba. That comes later when you're thinking about the blue. Hey, it must have been something I saw. Okay, I remember going to class tonight. I remembered that Gibson had a blue tie on. If I can remember that, I must have seen blue. That's all. Okay, so the memory is evidence or proof that you saw blue in the first place. Okay, so a lot of these understandings of what you're perceiving comes through remembering it later. Okay, I must see blue as blue. I must see blue as something that started, and I must see blue as something I could see because I can remember Gibson had a tie on tonight, a blue tie on. After you go home, you can remember that. That's proof that you had the original perception, because during the original perception, you can't think about the perception. You're just blue. Okay, you're not thinking, oh, I saw blue. And you're not thinking, oh, blue started. And you're not thinking, oh, blue is something I can see. That comes later. Okay.
But
and
doesn't the school believe in that perception?
Yes, they also, they believe that the mind can see itself. That's another trick. Okay. What does bear bite have to do here?
It's one of the stories from.
Yeah, Gibson said the bear wakes up after winter. The bear sleeps all winter, and the bear wakes up and he's got a big open wound on his leg. And he says, oh, he looks at the wound and he says, I must have been bitten by a mouse.
Right.
While I was hibernating, while I was sleeping. And then he remembers being bitten, or he remembers some feeling that he had when he was bitten. Therefore, when you can go home and think to yourself, Gibson had a blue tie on, that's like the mouse bite. And it proves that I must have seen the tie. Okay, it proves it retroactively. After the fact, it proves it. Okay, good. Ginny here. All right. Danny Jimmy, you do chene. So the mind remembers the blue, and de la shente, it focuses on the memory, and it says, "Oh, that was blue. I must have," and then it gives it a name. Oh, I saw blue. Okay. Mikshe de rangtoki temperature. We have that memory of what we saw is automatic. Okay, like you go home and you remember the tie that Gibson had on. That's automatic. Okay, rangtoki den means it can be brought on simply by the original perception, and you don't need Hasso to come over to my house and say, do you remember you saw Gibson's tie? Okay, no, the original perception will remind me. Okay, okay, good. Please go ahead.
Lumpoi or lumpo she jupe dente ngowo kong yin she trinang mikshe de la ngumpo, par nangwe nangwa de ni la shene, de ngowo suk ino she, len depe kun long tok bam mikshe de tok ki dempar nepe chiro.
Good. Okay. The carving, our carving says poi, somewhere here. So anyway, what how's it go? Lumbo shejope. Where is it? Oh, here it is down here, third line in the middle. Okay. Our carving says Lumbo o shejo. Sorry, our carving said Ngumbo-i.
Yeah.
And this is an alternate carving, which is not a carving, it's a tracing of a carving. And by the way, you can tell that if you deal with them often enough. And I believe this one is correct. Okay.
Okay.
So Ngumbo-o.
Oh, right. Yeah, that would make sense.
Boss, what does that mean? A tracing of a carving?
So in the old days, like in the days of offset presses in the 1970s, the way we made copies of scriptures was we put a piece of tissue paper over a woodblock print, and we traced it to make the letters clearer. And the tracers made a lot of mistakes. Okay, they put tissue paper over the woodblock print because the background was too dark for the offset camera. The paper was too yellow or dark. And the only way we could do it was somebody would roll out a piece of tissue paper and write with a black ink over the letter. And they made a lot of mistakes. And you can those printings are famous for bad mistakes. Okay.
So when you see these, it almost looks like it has a handwritten style.
Those are dangerous.
Okay.
Those are dangerous. Nowadays, the cameras are good enough to separate it from the background, but they didn't used to be. And it used to be too much storage. So, a whole computer couldn't hold 2 pages. So here we go. If you ask, what is the very essence? Remember again, we are in the mind-only school, and we're talking about blue as a basic object, and then we're talking about the features of blue. And what is the connection between the basic object and the blue? And what is the connection between the qualities of the blue and the blue? Who made the blues starting connect to the blue? Who drew the line? Who drew a line between blue and the starting of the blue? Who connects those two? That's your mind. That's obviously your mind, okay? You're the one who says starting belongs to the blue. And to an untrained person, it feels natural. Okay, when blue starts, and someone asks you, "Oh, Gibson, what's the connection between the blue and the starting of the blue?" You look at me and say, "Well, I don't understand the question. It's just the blue started." And the mind-only school says, "No, somebody glued the starting of the blue to the blue." Okay, and that's an artificial connection, and that's created by your karmic seeds. And people lose those connections. Autistic people, what's that word?
Alzheimer's people.
How do you know when you have Alzheimer's? You can't remember Alzheimer's. Okay. So anyway, the connection between the nature of blue, and the connection between qualities of blue and blue is artificial. Okay, it's not natural. It's also a creation of your karma. And some people lose those connections. They can't remember their own children. They lose the karma to see they are connected to their children, and they don't recognize their own kids. Okay, like that. Okay, so Ngumbo If I ask you, well, what's the basic nature of the blue? Well, it's just what I see when I open my eyes and I see blue. That's the nature of blue, okay? It's just what I see when I open my eyes and look at blue. Shene, dengo sukino. And then somebody says, well, what's the blue made of? And you say, suk. It's a visual object. It's one of the many visual objects in the world, okay? She landepe, when you answer that, the kunlon topa, and this is a difficult word here. There's a state of mind which elicits that answer. If I ask you, what's the nature of blue? And you say, it starts, it stops, it's dark, it's light. When you answer lightly, that's called kunlong topa. It means almost an automatic answer that you don't think about, which is really wrong. Okay. Oh, it's just like that. Okay. Why is that a dark blue? I don't know. This just is. That's like kunlong topa means no special motivation to it. It's just you just think that, or you can say that perception was brought on Jemba, okay, by the power of the original perception. Okay, the idea that blue is blue automatically. The idea that blue is a starting thing automatically, those are all brought on by the original perceptions, okay? Elicited, right? And by the way, the point is that that's not automatic, okay? You take a drug or you take alcohol or something, you're going to see those connections much differently. Okay. Yeah, and which one's correct, All right, who's going to read this? So this is a big one.
I would like Rebecca to read.
Okay.
Are you here? She's not here? Then I would like Venerable Chigme to read.
She's having a coughing attack. You want to?
She's having a coughing attack. Then I would like Venerable Chunsum to read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey. Yitsen de ni ki che mikshe de la nyunpwe tane ki ser yurpe nyunpor nangwe sena nyunpo rangi nu po netsulgi nu nye nyunpo tane ki ser nangwe nang sul yurpa yang jupla nyunpo tane ki ser yurpe nyunpo rangi seni ki jupa nangwe dun ni de
Nice.
Thank you.
Good. The essence here is right here in the middle. Okay. Wait, how about here? Lumbo tanyeki shir gyurpa. Lumbo tanyeki shir gyurpa. Blue appears to be the thing that the name blue refers to automatically. I'll say it again. Blue appears to automatically be the thing that the word blue refers to. Okay. And, you grow up with the word blue or whatever it is in your language. And after a while, you think that must be blue. And that's inherently blue. But you could have called it fish, or you could have called it chopsticks, or you could have called it, Titanic. And it's not that the word blue automatically refers to that color. That's artificial. And if you don't understand that, you can't understand emptiness. You have the karma to see that object called, quote, blue. And we don't call it chopsticks, So, but that relationship between the word blue and the color blue is not automatic. It's not natural, okay? It's artificial. And that helps a lot in reducing conflict in the world. And Noor Ibrahim gave a beautiful talk about the word for grape in 4 different languages during the New Year's program by the famous Petrie World News guys. And she talked about how different words can apply to the same object, right? And if we don't appreciate that, we can get into heavy conflict, okay? And a lot of conflict, even international conflict, but also conflict at home, is caused just by words, just by thinking that words are automatic, okay? So anyway, therefore, for that reason, blue appears to be the thing which is given the name blue automatically, okay? It appears that way. It seems as though the blue, from its own very nature, means by the nature, very nature of that thing. It means by the very nature of things. It seems as though, I better slow down, right? It seems as, I'm getting excited. It seems as though by the very nature of things, blue is called blue. That blue is the thing that is given the name blue. It seems natural. That's proven by how we think of it later. And when we say blue is the thing that, blue is the object that is referred to with the name blue, then it seems as though, and here we go, that's a kind of self-existence. Okay, that's a kind of self-existence. Is blue self-existent or not? I don't know. How do you feel about the name? Well, the name belongs to that. Okay, it's self-existent. Okay, got it? Is blue self-existent? I don't know. Well, how do you think about it? What do you mean, how do I think about it? Well, do you think it should be called blue automatically? Well, sure. Okay, then you're seeing the blue the wrong way. And you're having the first link of samsara. You're having ignorance. And you're creating karma also, bad karma. Got it? Okay. So it's kind of a reality check. How do you feel about the name blue? Oh, I don't know. Well, do you think blue should be called blue? He said, well, yeah, my mom taught me that. Okay, then you have ignorance. Okay, got it? And the blue itself is deceptive. The blue itself suggests to you that it should be called blue. The blue itself is lying to you. Okay, it's interesting. It's really interesting in this school.
Oh,
okay.
Geshe, can we go back up there in the after Tseniki Drupar, the Nangwei Dun and then Ni De Yin. That is, I'm just trying to think of the Nangwei
Dun. It is an object which appears to exist in and of itself. Yeah. Yeah. What's appearing to you as if it existed in and of itself is that
the Dun is an object. Okay, sorry.
The blue, which must be called blue, is what's lying to you and suggesting to you that it should be naturally called blue. Ranki Tseniki Drupar. Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the next one. This looks like it'd be nice to give to somebody to read. I don't know.
Yeah, let me see here. I would like to ask Elmira to read.
Turn on your microphone.
Would you like to read?
Elmira?
Maybe she was here earlier.
Sorry, I'm here.
Yay. Would you like to read?
Yes.
Just try. Don't be shy.
Thank you. This Shindu nấu bò đi sự kiện ngô bố ngô bố đi kiếp vào sự sống
Wow.
khí
Okay, wow.
vào sự sống khí à nhiệt
Nhé.
khí sự nhiệt
Nhé.
Kanye khí sự Yupe suk suk surang gi chen ni ki drpa nang van bai don
Nang
yang
way.
de nang we don yang de dang rao.
Lovely. Thank
Nice,
you.
nice, good job. So, by the way, this pause is important, Utpala, okay? Dejandu, ngombo de suki ngowo. Pause. Di kewo. Okay? This is the essence of the blue. This is the starting of the blue, okay? When you focus on the blue as the object of your terms, okay? Whether you say blue or whether you say starting of the blue, okay? The terms that you apply to this color, whether you say blue to this color or whether you say it started to this color, okay? They appear to you to exist in and of themselves, partly because you believe those attributes are inherent to them. You don't believe you created the connection between the word blue and this color. You don't believe it's artificial. And you don't believe the word it started applies to this color, doesn't apply to this color automatically, okay? When you can believe that the word blue belongs to that color automatically, and when you can believe that it started, the word it started can apply to that blue automatically, that's a sign that you believe that blue exists in and of itself. Okay? If the blue is lying to you, you will believe that blue is the name it deserves. And if the blue is lying to you, you will believe that it is starting is a description it deserves, that somehow there's a natural connection between the word blue and that color, or there's a natural connection between the words it started and that blue, okay? If you don't understand how words apply to blue, that's a sign that you don't understand the blue itself. That's a sign that you have ignorance about blue itself. Okay, I'll say it again. A sign that you are being ignorant and creating more samsara is how strongly do you believe the word blue belongs to that color, and how strongly do you believe the words it started belongs to that color. If you believe it deserves to be called them, it's a sign you don't understand the color itself. Okay, if you don't understand the relationship that words have to your object, it's a sign you don't understand the object either. Okay, got it? Cool.
Yeah, so
we are in the middle of a discussion about how to identify the gakcha.
Yeah.
Which we can't, which we have to do if we're going to see emptiness. So
yeah, I think what he's trying to say is your attitude about how words apply to the object is an indicator of how ignorant you are.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I'll say the opposite. If you meet people who really understand emptiness well, they are super flexible. They are super flexible. You can flip a whole project on them. You can say, we can't go to Da Nang. We got to go we're not going to have a program. And then how quickly they change names. Oh, you mean the Kyoto program? Something like that. You see, how quickly can a person apply a new name to the same object is an indicator of how self-existent do they believe the object is. Okay. And so really flexible people they don't have problems with, you want to call me fish instead of Geshe Michael, I'm okay. Okay. All right, something like that. Okay. You were going to ask a question, Mr. Kramer.
Yeah, Geshe, when I look, for example, I'm looking at the blue on the top of your screen here, on the top of the little word thing.
It's the only blue around, right?
Yeah, and it's easy for me to get in touch with feeling like it starts and stops, that because it's a a computer display, or even to say that it's form, like it does feel to me like it deserves to be form. And then when I think about the name blue, especially with this amazing party that we have here of people all over the world, I feel very aware of many different languages and many different words. And it's a little hard for me to get in touch with being stuck about the name, so much so that I wonder if I'm misunderstanding, if there's something subtler being pointed to, because we all know that languages are different and that languages evolve naturally, and we all have these different languages. I understand it feels to me like it is necessarily naturally formed. It feels to me like it starts and stops because of the computer. But I'm having a hard time getting the feel for like it has to be called blue, because I know that languages are different and unnatural.
Okay. I would say that's a sign that you already understood some emptiness.
Okay.
No, because intolerant people get really hung up on names,
Okay.
and that's a sign of their lack of understanding of emptiness, I think.
Okay. Okay, thanks, boss.
You meet people who get really offended if you mispronounce their name, for example. And there's other people who live their whole life with their name mispronounced, and they're, okay. We know people like that. I was Magratsky, by the way. I was in Zhengzhou, and the big banner across the stage said, "Welcome, Magratsky." And
true story.
It's okay. It took me a while to figure out who they were talking about. Oh, it said Magratsky, free of wealth.
Free of wealth.
Anyway. If you want to endear yourself to me, call me Magratsky. Okay, 284, who's going to read it, Upala?
Nancy Karen, would you like to read?
Oh, nice. Nancy Karen's the other half of the reason why you have all these organizations.
That's right.
Okay. She's pretending her microphone's broken. This is an old New York.
Yeah, well, I know her microphone's off.
East Side New Yorker.
Ask to unmute. Okay.
She'll pretend she doesn't know about it.
She's pretending not to know about it. How about Lindsay? Would you like to read?
All right.
Make change. No. Key.
What?
G.
All right, I know this old trick. You go, hi. Anyway,
can you not hear me?
Yeah.
Couldn't hear very much.
Yeah, now we know you're faking it.
Wait, can you hear me?
Maybe
No.
just speak really loudly.
No.
No, I think there's an internet problem. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
The internet in Seattle had too much coffee. All right. Okay, Mikshala Deta Namadeni. When you look at blue, And it seems as though the connection between the word and the color is automatic, or the connection between the blue and the quality of starting is automatic, okay? This is not an appearance which is coming to you through some inherent quality of blue. It's not the blue's fault. Nature ki wonki means from the way it stands or from the measure it stands. But what it means is it's not something inherent, nature, to blue, okay? It's not something wrong with the blue. And it's not a problem inherent to the blue that it's always going to appear to you as though it should be called blue. Okay, don't blame it on the blue. Okay, Neitsu ki wangi, this is not appearing sharwa this way through some defect in the blue. Okay, don't think that, A. And also don't think, mikshe de la nangwing number tarangi riktumbe bachaki saban, and don't blame it on a saban. Don't blame it on a
seed.
bachak. Don't blame it on a seed.
Or a propensity.
Do not blame the seed that the seed made the blue appear to you as if the blue was called blue by itself. Okay, don't blame it on the seed, but Hasa's disturbed, and you should be disturbed. You're the only person in the room disturbed. Thank God for you. You should be disturbed. It is the Bachak's fault, but he qualified the Bachak. He said, Rik Timbe Bachak. Okay, it is not an immediate Bachak. Rik Timba means the blue Bachak that made the blue Bachak of a second ago, which made the blue of this moment appear. Okay, that's a Rik Timbe Bachak. It flowed into the blue. The blue of the previous millisecond that flowed into this blue, the Bachak of the previous millisecond that triggered this particular blue. Don't blame all the problems on that Bachak. That seed was just responsible to keep the blue going. Okay? That he didn't make the blue appear to you as though it should be called blue, etc. Don't blame it on the Bachak, which is responsible for the continuum of the blue, for the immediate flow of the blue. Don't blame the Bachak. Don't blame the mental seed of a moment ago for how that the blue's lying to you right now. You should blame a Bachak with no goddamn beginning.
Yeah.
Which is called Munjigi Bachak. Very famous from Dr. Wordsmith's text, The Golden Key. If you haven't read it, you're a loser. Okay? If you have read it, you're weird. Yeah. There's another Bachak at work here, and Utpala is going to describe it right now.
Hokma mepane di ngumpo di shukso di sukikewo she sok lowo tang kepar.
Yeah.
Ki tane tokpe len mang tu chepa kompe. I tried to do that. Kompe shakpe bakchaki wanki shawe nangwa sam yena bakchak delani ngumpar jupe bakchak she jao.
Yeah, this is so exciting for me in Word because we struggled with this for years. Okay, and here it is. Thank God for Kiruji. Okay, he says that's not the fault of a Riktumbe Bachak here. It's not the fault of the seed that created the blue from the blue of a moment ago. This is those god dang Lumbajupe Bachaks. Okay, Lumbajupe Bachak means the Bachak that came from talking about things in a certain way for countless eons. Okay, you have been talking about blue in a certain way for billions of lifetimes. Okay, that's the Bachak that's creating this problem. Okay, We can blame it on, okay? And now here's his description of that bakchak. Okay, here we go. First of all, it has come from Toma Mebane Utpala.
Beginningless time.
Yeah, it has been in operation for time with no beginning. And there's three variations on it. Either it says, oh, being nimble.
It's
This is blue.
that's blue. That's blue.
Or it
That's blue.
says, oh, this nimble is soup.
Yeah, this blue is visible.
Visible, nice. Or it's live to and says, oh, this blue is kiwa.
This blue has started.
This blue started. It lies to you in three different ways. Okay. The old, ancient, constantly replanted mental seed says, oh, that's blue. Or, oh, that's something I can see. Or, oh, that just started. Okay. All of those terms, all of those words applied to blue are artificial. They're just a habit. You could be perceiving the world as a Buddha paradise right now, but you got these old bad habits. How old?
Beginningless time.
Beginning no time. Okay. Ngo dan kepa kitani tope. Ngo means it's identifying blue as blue. Kepa means it's identifying blue as something visible, or it's identifying blue as something that started, etc. Okay. So whether you're talking about identifying the color as blue, or you are talking about identifying the color as something I can see, or something that just started, it's all tanya topa. It's all just words. It's all just words. It's all misperception based on words. Okay. Well, when did it start? You mangdu chepa. Len means how many times have you said it? Mangdu chepa.
Countless times.
Countless. And you komba, therefore.
And you have
used to
a
it.
mental habit.
Yeah, you got used to it. And through that getting used to it, it's shocked by the bakchak in your mind.
It planted a seed in your mind.
And due to that seed, things appear to you to be blue from their own side. When actually that blue, you're looking at a blue in your own kunshi. You are looking at a blue in your own okura consciousness, in your own storehouse consciousness. You never were looking at a blue outside, but you made the mistake so many times that you can't see it any other way anymore. Even as I'm saying it, you're doing it. And I am too. Okay. Wah, wah. That was a 3-year retreat thing. We didn't
We're at-
talk. Wah, wah.
We're at wind up time.
I wouldn't mind getting wind up. Okay, Bachak Delani, and that kind of, but Nawatsa means, look, it's just appearing that way. It's not that way, really. Nawatsa means
It only appears that way?
it
Or-
just looks that way. Yeah,
Oh,
it just looks that way because of the power of the Bachak, due to the
Okay.
power. Okay. And hey, you want to know what we call that Bachak? It's called the Bachak that's
of
planted by
expression or something like that.
well, by talking about things that way
Yeah.
for billions of years. Okay. It's called talking about things that way, Bhakta. Okay. You want to do a little summary? I don't have the guts or the memory.
Okay, we continued the discussion of that the essential nature, or what appears to us, the essential nature of things, of what we perceive, the characteristics of things we perceive, are not inherent in the thing we're perceiving. Although when we think that it's automatically that way, that blue is blue, that blue started, or blue is continuing on the Word document right now, is a sign that we misunderstand the nature of things.
Good.
And it comes from beginning this time,
Yep.
thinking, oh, that's blue. Oh, that's a visual thing. Oh, that's the starting of blue.
Good. I would add one thing and then we can stop. I used to think the mind-only school was dumb and the middle way school is smart, and I must be middle way school, therefore. But as I study more and more, I start to notice that people like Tsongkhapa have a lot of respect for this school. Like they're saying, Tsongkhapa says a couple of times, we can use this to help ourselves. This is a very useful thing to help ourselves. Thinking about it is priceless. Okay, cool.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
See, about your next assignment.
Oh, yes.
I want you to do section 286 and 287.
All right.
And I want you to especially explain to us what this Tokpe Taksam. I'll write it here, okay? Tokpe Taksam. Okay.
Okay.
Venerable here. Venerable Utpala, tie this to, okay? This is a very famous expression in the middle way. Just Takpad with Tokpa. And there's a lot of Tokpas running around in these two paragraphs.
I'm going to, what is this? Just tell me what that word is referring to.
I'm going to say tie these.
Those two verses that I'm going to do?
Tokpas running around here.
Okay.
Okay, to Tope Taksam. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. And by the way, extra credit.
Yeah.
Is it useful? The misspelling. Tope Taksam.
Oh.
Okay. Because half the Tibetans misspell it this way. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. We'll see you guys in the morning.
Oh,
Thank
yay.
you.
Thanks, boss.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything, Uncle Nick, to put us to bed? You want to tell us a bedtime story like Amelie?
No, you guys don't want me
Yeah,
to do
no. Hey, Nick, when I was a nanny in college to pay for my room, I used to skip the pages in the kids' books to get to bed faster. And they would say, why you skip the page?
Yeah, Amelie's way too perceptive for that. She has all the books memorized. I'll tell you something funny for our bedtime story. She's about 3. And since she was born, like since she's been talking, she tells us a lot of things. Like if I ever mention like, oh, that lady's dressed as a police officer, she's like, oh yeah, I was a police officer once. And I'm like, oh, really? Where? And she'll just be like, oh, it was in, some part of San Diego, like that she'll just mention where I don't even know she knew the name. Like, it's funny. She always says, oh, I was there, or I did that, or I was that thing. I feel like she's just remembers infinite past lives.
She probably forgets them after a while.
Yeah, I think probably forgetting, but she's always like, yeah, I taught you how to ride a bike once. You don't remember that? I'm like, damn, when? What was your name? That's cool. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Geshe-Michael, for having a great day. This was really amazing. I feel like these terms just get better and better.
We do. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Lindsay, work on your internet.
Yeah.
Seriously. Okay.
I will.
Okay. All right. See you guys later.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, translators. Thank you, tech team. Thank you, people who are here and there and everywhere.